So today I'm gonna be talking about my story on being 15 and pregnant. So yeah, let's get right into it. So, where do I start? When I had the feeling of being pregnant was in the end of March of 2018. I think it was during spring break or end of spring break. I wasn't feeling myself. I was feeling sick. Then I noticed, like, I threw up after, I think I smelled something, or was I smelled something or ate something? Didn't agree with me or whatever. I'm like, okay, if this ain't, agreeing with me, that ain't, normal, because, I usually, that ain't me. So I told my man, and he's like, I'll get a pregnancy test soon, so just wait. So we go back to school for a little. I kind of missed a couple days because I was kind of, sick or whatever you want to say. Or was it that week? But I think I did like 1 or 2 days. So that Friday, I always go by his house every Friday. So that Friday, I think it was like April 6th, he ended up getting a pregnancy test. And I'm like, I'm not going to take it that day, because usually they say to take it in the morning time, and it was already like way, evening time. So I'm like, let me take it Monday morning, April 9th. I'm like, I'll wait till then and I'll take it then. So it was before school time. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna take it real quick. Let me hurry up and take it, because my mom usually comes upstairs after I get done. So I go to take it and I wait a little, and then I'm like, do I want to look at it? Do I not want to look at it? So I go to look at it, and can you guess what it said? So it said that I was positive that I was having a little one. And I'm like, oh shit. Like, all the emotions was going through my, like, I was like, this is gonna be a big change, this is gonna be a big responsibility. And I'm like, I'm gonna have to prep myself, or whatever you want to say. So I'm like, I didn't know whether to tell my boyfriend right then and there or anything like that. So I'm like, let me just wait a little. But I had to hurry up and hide it anyways, because my mom comes up there, and I'm like, I'm not ready to tell her. So I waited a little. So a little bit, like that morning when I went to school, I ended up telling my boyfriend, and he was shook. He didn't believe it at first, so I had to take a picture of the pregnancy test and show him. So I showed him, and he was like, okay, this is for real. So yeah, it was for real. So I go to school, normal day. I actually told one of my close friends. She was shook. She just said congratulations or anything like that. I had to tell somebody because all the emotions were going through my body, like I was just thinking and everything like that. So I'm like, I had to talk to somebody that I was really close with. So then, what was it? Me and my boyfriend talked a little, about it or whatever. Then, like, a few days go by, he's like, we have to tell your mom. And that day I was going by his house, so I'm like, okay, we'll end up telling her. Because she was picking us up, and she was going to take us to his house from school. So I'm like, okay. But then we get in the car, and I'm like, I know when her moods change, or like how she is or whatever. I'm like, I told him, I'm like, she's not in the mood, let's not tell her right now. But he didn't see that message, so I'm like, oh shit. And then he's over there saying, babe, are you gonna tell her? Maddie, are you gonna tell her? Just tell her. And I'm like, no, if you really want to tell her, you go ahead and tell her, because I just didn't have the guts to tell my mom. My mom's like, what do you guys want to tell me, and this and that. And I could just tell she was tired and everything like that. So I'm like, oh my. So he goes to tell her, and she's like, Maddie, are you serious? And I'm like, yeah. And I just start busting tears. She starts crying, and she's like, you guys know this is going to be a big change for you guys and everything like this. This ain't nothing to play about. And yeah, my mom was upset about it. Like, she was shook. This was unexpected for all of us. But she was like, I'm going to be by your side and everything like this through everything. So then, she's like, you guys go ahead, talk about this. And she's still crying and everything like that. And then we get out the car, and I'm still crying. And then we go in his house. And we didn't tell his parents yet. But we talked about it and everything like that. And this is going to be a big old change. So we talked about it. Then like a few days later, cause I was sick during that period. I'm trying to remember everything, but I know I was sick a little and throwing up. And I think my mom ended up, that day my mom ended up telling my grandma, and my aunt was right there, so they knew. They were shook, but they were still they still said, you know, you will be by your side through this and everything like that. So then a couple days later, my mom ends up coming out to my brothers, and I was there, telling, she was not told them, but my one brother ended up guessing, you know, that I was pregnant. Like, he was like, she's pregnant. And then I'm like, shit. And I just start crying. They're like, like, I don't know. They didn't really say anything right then and there. They were kind of, upset. But then they were still my brothers, They were still going to be by my side. My little brother, he was kind of upset. But then he, warmed up to it and everything like that. Then like a few days later, my boyfriend ended up telling his dad first, and I forgot what his dad said. Yeah, I forgot what his dad said, but then he told his mom, I think later on that day or the next day or I think later on that day, he told his mom, and his mom's like, no, this is a joke, you're playing around with me and this and that. But she ended up asking the dad, and the dad, I think that's how it happened. The dad ended up telling her, yeah, he told me the same thing, this and that. But they were shook. It's gonna be a new person in our lives. His family was shook, his sisters and everything like that. My family was shook. I didn't tell my dad for a couple weeks or so. When I found, well, hold on, I'll get back to that in a minute. I was about to skip part, but my dad didn't know until a few weeks. My mom actually told him. I wasn't there in person. I was actually by my boyfriend's house. I didn't know she was gonna tell him, but she ended up telling him, and he didn't want to accept it. But then a little bit later, after me growing in my pregnancy or whatever, he slowly kind of accepted it. He just wanted to make sure, my boyfriend was going to be there and, be there for the baby and everything like that. So, yeah. And then, I think it was like maybe a couple weeks from when I found out. Okay, where was I? I had to stop because my little brat back there. I think I was saying like a few weeks then that day or whatever, when I found out I was pregnant. A few weeks later, I think I got into my doctor's, and the thing about, okay, the thing is, my mom just found out like weeks before I found out I was pregnant. She was gonna put me on birth control and everything like that. But then that's when I found out I was pregnant, and we couldn't do that. We couldn't go on birth control. So then I think when I was gonna go back to be put on birth control, my mom ended up telling them, she's pregnant, and they ended up checking, and I was pregnant. So I was like, I'm trying to remember how far along I was. I think I was like a month or two already, or a month, or a couple weeks. I think it was like a month or a couple weeks already, or 2 months. I don't know. This is irritating. I was like a month or two already. Okay, we'll just say that. But I was shook. I was like, how didn't I know this for this long? And I didn't feel any symptoms until then. But after that, after finding out, and then my due date estimate was around November 26th, 25th. I think it was like 26th, 27th. So yeah. And like during my pregnancy, after I found out, and then after they told me, I was really pregnant. Like, they made sure when I went and how far along I was and everything like that. I was shook, you know. I didn't know what to do. I was thinking, you know, and then like I was excited, but then I'm like, you know, but my beginning of my pregnancy was horrible. I was throwing up so much. I didn't have fluid in me. I didn't want to eat. Everything I ate, I was throwing up. What else? I was in and out of the hospital. They didn't really know what to give me to help me. So, but then they didn't know what to give me. How would I put it? They didn't know what to give me at first, but then they did after a while. Like it was a pill that helped me not throw up so much or whatever you want to say. But I actually had to get these 2 pills and take them together each night, so I would be fine during the day. And it did work. Let's see. What else? So it did work. So I wasn't really throwing up or anything like that. My cravings were like, what was it, like sour candy and some like hotness, and then I started craving, what are they called, muffins from McDonald's. But like I was saying, those were my cravings. And when we found out what we were having, it was on the 9th, like I found out when I was pregnant. When I found out pregnant, it was April 9th. But when we found out we were having a boy, it was a couple months later, because I had to be like 22 weeks, 23 weeks, something around there. But it was on the 9th too. The 9th too. But I forgot what month. But yeah, we found out we were having a little boy, right? And then, yeah. So I think I got to everything I wanted to get to. I probably left out a little bit here and there, but it's mainly what I wanted to get to. If you guys want to comment down below what other videos you guys would want me to do, go ahead and comment. But like, subscribe, and share. And if you guys want me to do a video on him, I would love to. Yay. And if you guys want me to do a video on me going into labor and all that stuff, like and comment, because I would love to. But yeah, comment more videos you guys would want me to do. And yeah, hope you guys like the video.